And we are live, back again with yet another one. It is match week 6, the preview with your boy Dominic Rich FC. All right, let's get it popping. It's back-to-back live streams. Yesterday I had to do the review for the midweek matches, and now I'm doing the preview for the weekend games, and then we got Champions League football next week. All right, so no rest, man. No rest if you're a football fan, especially if you're an avid football fan like me, following the Premier League and the Champions League, international football. Oh, man. No rest, man. Sometimes I just say, you know what, man, forget about it. Forget any football's playing. I'm going to take the day. Sometimes I do that, but I'm telling you, man, I don't know how the players do it, but they make it happen. So, guys, like, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's see how quick we could actually get this done and also get all the information in. We will be doing a transfer update, of course, talking all the latest transfers that that happened since since the last match date that I did the preview. So last time I did a preview was actually Monday. So between Tuesday and today, that's what we're going to talk about. I may miss a few of them, but it's all good, man. So let's do this, man. Let us do this. Let's get into this, guys. And let's talk this week's matches, the preview. So before we get into the preview, let's just take a look at the results from last match day. Man United beat Leicester 0-0. Bournemouth and Wolves played to a 0-0 draw. Arsenal beat Aston Villa 2-1, while City romped a 6-0 victory over newly promoted Nottingham Forest. West Ham and Spurs played to a 1-1 joined at London derby. Liverpool snatched a late win against Newcastle in a 2-1 affair. Crystal Palace and Brentford played to a 1-1 draw in that London derby as well, while Fulham inflicted Brighton's first loss of the season. Southampton picked up a shock 2-1 win over Chelsea, while Everton and Leeds played to a 1-1 draw. Something I actually want to take a look at, and that is the stats. Let's take a look at the stats really, really quick. And I just want to take a look at a particular stat, which is a freakish stat in my opinion. Erling Haaland has 9 goals already this season. And the next best is Mitrovic, who had a great August as well. We're now in September. It's a new month. Forget about what happened in August. It's time to score more goals in September. Harry Kane has 4, Rodrigo has 4, and Wilf Zaha also has 4. While Firmino got 3, Gabriel Jesus, Luis Diaz had a great month as well. So did Pascal Gross and Gabriel Martinelli. In terms of the assists, Firmino also with 3 assists to go with his 3 goals. Who said he wasn't in form? Kevin De Bruyne amongst the assists, of course, with 3. Gabriel Jesus has definitely hit the ground running at Arsenal. Jack Harrison, hot and cold in my opinion, with 3. Cucurella, surprised to see him on the list with 2. Ebericha Eze, what a gem. Foden, Rodri, Matthias Jensen, and Dejan Kulusevski rounds off the list. Robert Sanchez lead the clean sheet charts with Edison also on top with 3. In terms of passes, mostly Man City players in there, along with Virgil van Dijk. And that's it. Not really going to get too much into these other stats. City has scored the most goals, while Liverpool is second, Arsenal third. Brentford doing well, scoring 10 goals already this season. So you see who's leading most of the stats there. Manchester City, you got Liverpool, and expect those teams to be the creme de la creme when it comes to the end of the season. They say cream always floats to the top. All right. So with that being said, guys, let's take a look at the fixtures and let's start. Let's get into the fixtures. Big up to everybody watching the stream right about now. Appreciate you coming in for yet another one. Make sure you like the video if you haven't yet done so. All right, so let's do this, man. Let us do this. The first game that we're going to start with is the game between Nottingham Forest and AFC Bournemouth. This would actually be the first meeting of these teams in the Premier League as well, which, is a very unpredictable game where both teams got promoted from the championship last season. So, in terms of their last games, Forest got blown out of the park, 6 goals to nil against City. Well, for Bournemouth, they bounced back from a 9-0 drubbing to pick up a 0-0 draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. In terms of last season in the championship, Bournemouth did the double over Forest last season with a 1-0 win at home and a 2-1 win on the road. And Nottingham Forest has not beaten Bournemouth since 2015 when Bournemouth were last in the championship, where they pulled off a league double against the Cherries. So that's their only 2 wins across the last 10 fixtures, dating all the way back to 2007, with 3 draws sprinkled in. In terms of their all-time results, there's been 14 matches between the two teams, 3 wins for Forest, 6 wins for Bournemouth, and 5 games have ended in a draw. This will be the 4th match for Steve Cooper against Bournemouth. He has not won any, with only picking up a solitary draw and 2 losses. Gary O'Neill, the interim manager, he's very fresh in his managerial career, and hence first time facing Steve Cooper and also Nottingham Forest. So, guys, in terms of the transfer updates for both teams, let's just take a look at the squads, where you guys know Nottingham Forest have signed over 20 players this season already. But in terms of the latest updates that I yet to really talk about, they signed defender by the name of Loic Bade on loan from Rennes. Also, the Michy Batshuayi deal from Chelsea collapsed because Chelsea didn't send in the paperwork on time, and he actually went to Fenerbahce. Josh Bowler signed from Blackpool, but will go out to Olympiacos on loan, while Serge Aurier signed on a free. He was a Villarreal player last season, and Willy Bolly also came in from Wolverhampton Wanderers. So, look, that's the updates for Nottingham Forest. If you look through their squad, a lot of new signings, and we're going to find it very, very hard to keep track of these players and know who exactly plays at Nottingham Forest. Seriously, you got Lodi, you got Omar Richards, Willie Bally, Loic Bade, Orel Mangala. You got all these guys. Morgan Gibbs White, Jesse Lingard, you name Kuyate, Freuler. All these players came in. Owen Neyi came in. Emmanuel Dennis came in. And there's a few guys like Tofolo and Koa. I can't even remember all the players that came in. But it's not a team that I know very well. And it's going to take me some time to get to know this team. So in terms of Bournemouth, Shrewsbury signed Christian Sadie on loan, while Southampton centre-back Jack Stevens joined Bournemouth on loan as well. Bournemouth are considering a move also for Bodo Glimt manager Kjetil Knutsen to replace the sacked Scott Parker. So let's keep an eye on that situation, because Knutsen has done a great job at Bodo Glimt. And I'll be surprised if he actually leave that project over there, where he'll be in the Europa League, to go to Bournemouth. So keep an eye on that, see if it develops. But if the money is right, obviously he'll be there tomorrow night. So Bournemouth also showed some interest in signing Nathan Redmond from Southampton, and I haven't had any update on that. So if anybody know anything about that, please let me know in the chat. So in terms of player availability, for Nottingham Forest, Musania Kate, Omar Richards, and also another new signing, Orel Mangala, are out injured. While for Bournemouth, Davy Brooks, who I found out is recovering from cancer. I was like, God damn, I didn't even remember that. He's so talented. While Joe Rothwell, Junior Stanislaus, and Ben Pearson are all out. Davy Brooks is actually, close to a return. He's been, playing some friendly games as well. So in terms of players to watch, guys, for both teams, for Forest, I'm going to go with Morgan Gibbs White, their new signing from Wolves, because for the I can't even. I'm really trying to understand why they splash so much cash on Morgan Gibbs White. I've seen that he has a little potential, to be honest, but I'm kind of baffled by the big price tag. Seriously, he has not really done anything in the Premier League when he played for Wolves. I know he went out on loan in the Championship, and I think he did okay. But in terms of the Premier League, man, I think it's not a great signing, but it's left to be seen. So let's see if he is able to help Forest, do something big in this game. In terms of Bournemouth, I'm gonna go for former Liverpool man Dominic Solanke. He hasn't hit the ground running in the Premier League. He did great in the Championship, only second to Alexander Mitrovic in terms of the goal scoring chart. And he struggled with injuries so far and struggling to find his form. So let's see if he will actually hit the back of the net in this game. So look, in terms of my prediction for this one, guys, Forest are still trying to find their form, still trying to gel, players trying to know each other. A lot of new players coming from all different leagues around Europe, right? And just put together. This is like career mode. You get like a 500 million euro purse to do whatever you want, and you're just going on signing players, right? You just sign in, you make it whatever kind of signings you want, and then you're like, okay, now it's time to play the season, and you're all over the place. That's what's going on with Nottingham Forest. But to be fair to them, they did have a lot of players contracts running out. They didn't decide to prolong those contracts because the players were not of top quality. There was a lot of players there on loan as well. So I understand what the Greek boss is actually doing in terms of trying to stay up in the league. You got the cash, splash the cash. You see what I'm saying? Splash the cash. And they haven't looked too bad, but you could see that they're still trying to gel as a unit. They could be very, very dangerous, especially against a struggling team like AFC Bournemouth. Coming off of the 9-0 jobbing against Liverpool, the beating that they took against City and Arsenal, but bounced back well in the draw against Wolves, where I think they were very, very lucky to get something from that game. Here, I could see Forest going out there, doing their thing, players more confident, and for Forest to actually pick up a 2-0 win because I think Bournemouth would actually struggle to score goals in the league. Well, there'll be Neto in goal. He'll provide a bit of a cover. I think a better goalkeeper, in my opinion, than Travers. But I think in terms of their final third play, they're kind of lacking. So I'm going to go for Forest, 2-0. A lot of firepower in that team. Dennis, you have the likes of Brennan Johnson, Lodi on the wing, now left back, Morgan Gibbs White. Expect these guys to really throw the kitchen sink at Bournemouth and use this opportunity to pick up 3 more points in the league. So, look, just to go back here and finish off this first game in terms of Nottingham Forest. They're 15th in the league. They have 4 points, 1 win, and a draw. Their next game in the league will be against Leeds United, followed by a match against Fulham. So, in terms of the struggling Bournemouth, they're, however, still outside the relegation zone with 4 points as well. Their next game will be against Brighton, followed by a clash against Newcastle United. Guys, let me know your prediction in the chat. Do appreciate that. So, big up to the obvious girl who said, literally just finished watching the review stream. Thank you very much for watching that. I actually put in the timestamps tonight as well because everything just came by like so quick and I didn't have any time to do that. My laptop is actually broken, so I don't really take my laptop to work with me anymore. I need to buy a new laptop, and that's gonna cost me about $1,500 for a new MacBook because that's what I'm gonna go for. So content is saying Forest 3, Bournemouth 1, Paloma 3-1 as well. Forest 3, um, nil to Bournemouth. Big up to Marcel in the house. Big up to Ryan LFC as well. I see you pass through. Appreciate you coming through. Johnny Long's in the house. Natalia and Hoyt in the house. Who else we got in the house? Yeah, man. Big up to everybody, man. Appreciate you guys coming through. We got Mr. Arcade Animation 1-0. I think Forest at home is a crazy atmosphere. So thanks to everybody who dropped predictions in the chat. Let us keep it moving. All right. We got a lot to go through. Don't want to linger too much on one game. So let's go. Let's go. Brentford versus Leeds is the next game on the agenda. So let's get into this one. but not after I take a sip of my very refreshing Poland spring water here. Because I'm doing a lot of talking. I don't want my mouth to dry up, you know. So in their last game, Brentford played a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace, while for Leeds, they played a 1-1 draw against Everton. In terms of the last meeting between the two teams last season, Leeds defeated Brentford 2-1, and the other game ended in a 2-2 draw. Previously, they met in the championship back in 2019-20, and we had Leeds winning a goal to nil and the draw. So Leeds have been unbeaten against Brentford in their last four meetings, and that must bode well with the White Roses here. The last time Brentford defeated Leeds, you got to go back to 2019. That was the 18-19 season. So they do have 3 wins in their last 10 against the Lily Whites there. Not the Lily Whites, but the White Roses. Lily Whites is Spurs. I don't know why I said Lily Whites, but all-time Premier League results. They only met twice in the Premier League last season. 1 win for Leeds and a draw. This would be the second meeting between Thomas Frank and Jesse Marsch, with Marsch winning the only clash there last season for Leeds. So in 5 games against Leeds, Thomas Frank has only 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses. So not very good. Not very good there. Brentford, you know what I mean, in terms of the record, coming into the game on the back foot. So in terms of the transfer updates for both teams, guys, I'm going to give you all the latest transfers that happened within the last 2 days or so. And anything that I caught wind of, there might be a few that slipped through the cracks. But if that's the case, feel free to update me in the chat. You know, I'm not, a robot. I try my best, but I'm not perfect. So in terms of Brentford, Burnley signed striker Halil Dervisoglu on loan, while there was a lot of interest for Shakhtar Donetsk player Mikhailo Mudryk. A lot of interest for him also from Arsenal. I think Aston Villa, Everton were looking at him. And he stays at Shakhtar Donetsk, where they're actually going to need him for the Champions League season, because they already depleted with a lot of their players leaving through that special FIFA rule. And also, Swansea signed Finn Stevens on loan from Brentford. So that's the latest update. In terms of Leeds signed Italian international striker Wilfried Nanto from Zurich for £4.5 million, and he's an exciting prospect. Let's see how he get on at Leeds United. Also, Dan James joins Fulham on loan. Leeds had also agreed to sign Marseille forward Senegalese international Bamba Dieng. And while he was at the airport, guys, like he's about to catch a flight to come to England, Nice hijacked the deal and scheduled a physical for the player. So with the medical schedule, Bamba Dieng actually went and failed the medical, which meant that both deals fell through. The one for Leeds, that he actually refused to, join Leeds after the initial agreement, and the one to Nice actually fell through because he failed the medical and the deal fell through. He's now a Marseille player still. That has to be one of the funniest transfer stories of all time. There was actually a recent one as well, and the player did end up at Marseille, but it was a player by the name of Pape Gueye. I think he went from Metz, because Metz and Senegal do have a pathway. I think generation foot to Metz. So Pape Gueye actually went from Metz, and he was supposed to join Watford. And he agreed a deal to join Watford. And also at the same time, I think he had agreed a deal to join Marseille. So after he was even announced as a Watford player, he then decided to terminate the contract with Watford and join Marseille. And while he was at an AFCON, FIFA tried to actually ban him from playing because of the ongoing investigation for that deal. So these Senegalese players, I don't know what's going on, man. I really don't know what's going on. So look up the story of Pape Gueye. Look it up and you see exactly what I'm talking about. So that one was a quite an interesting one. So, look, in terms of more transfer updates, also, Cody Gakpo was actually close to joining Leeds for 43 million euros, but it didn't happen. He was also linked with a move to a few other clubs, and the deal fell through because, with the Dutch teams, they actually want to hold on to their players. They just don't want to, force any type of move. And that was the whole reason behind the whole Cody Gakpo thing. He was linked to United. He was linked all over the place to Southampton as well, and didn't happen. Same thing for some Ajax players as well. So big up to the boy Patrick in the house, true City fan. Thanks for the $2, well, €2, not dollar, but €2. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. We got to chat. We definitely got to chat pretty soon. We got to talk that talk when it comes to Manchester City, So appreciate you coming through. I know it's late up in Ireland, right? I think it's about 2 a.m. What are you doing up, bro? I know it's a weekend. What are you doing up? But anyways, let's continue there in terms of player availability, guys, for Leeds. For Brentford, Sergi Canos, Ethan Pinnock remains out injured, while Christopher Aya, Pontus Janssen, Christian Norgard are all close to return to full fitness. While for Leeds United, Stuart Dallas, Rodrigo are listed as out, while Liam Cooper, Luke Ayling, and Junior Firpo are close to full fitness as well. Players to watch for me for Leeds United, I got to go with Jack Harrison. I think he's been hot and cold. He looks good in the game, and then no end product. He's picked up a few assists, but he could have actually got a couple goals as well, and he could have helped Leeds United be in a stronger position that they are in. So you got to look out for the former NYFC, former Man City player as well. They never really played for City, but was, a Man City player, was on the books. You got to look out for him in this game, for him to step up in the absence of Rodrigo, who has been the most prominent player so far. And in terms of Brentford, there's a player similar to Jack Harrison, and that's Brian Mbuemo. Mbuemo is a quality player, but he just doesn't contribute enough in terms of goals. And you're playing as a forward, you have to be on the score sheet a lot more often. So he needs to definitely step his game up. He's a very stylish player, but he just lacks that end product and he just lacks that consistency. So in this game, guys, prediction. This one is a difficult one. I think this will be a very open game of football, basketball type stuff, back and forth stuff, because we know Leeds don't back down. We know Brentford doesn't back down as well. Ivan Toney is going to relish the battles in this game. And we know under Bielsa, Leeds was known as a team that just go gung-ho, didn't know how to defend. But I think under Jesse March, they're a little bit more pragmatic and will definitely, manage games a lot better. So, look, both teams, I think, very, very similar in style. Not going to get into all the players and everything right about now, but I think this is going to end in a win for Leeds. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for Leeds United here. Thriller. This is going to be a thrilling game. 3-2. Reminder the game, Fulham versus Brentford. It's going to be another one of those games. So I'm going for that. Leeds to win. Jesse March to celebrate like a madman on the touchline and pick up 3 more points in the quest to survive and maybe fight for one of those European places this season. So that's my prediction. Let me know yours in the chat. So in terms of the next games for these teams, Leeds 7th, 8 points. Their next match will be against Nottingham Forest, followed by a match against Manchester United. As for Brentford, who are 11th with 6 points, their next game will be against Southampton, followed by a London derby against Arsenal. So talk to me, guys, in the chat. Do appreciate everybody in here. Make sure you smash on the thumbs up button for the live stream if you've done so already. Thank you very much. So big up to the boys, Charlesburg Steve, who's saying 2-1 for Brentford. Johnny Long's Brentford 2-2. 2-2 draw. Palomo 2-2 draw. I'm leaning towards 2-1 Leeds, but I don't know. Kevin Morris is saying a 2-2. Lego Dude, I think the Gakpo deal fell to because the transfer window is 1 day shorter and everyone else, so they probably felt like they had to keep him because it was deadline day for them already. 2-1 to Brentford also, says the Lego Dude. So Big up to everybody in the house right about now. Once again, guys, we are going to keep it moving. We got a lot of games to go through, and we ain't got all night. I was able to start a little earlier tonight because I was able to get the young man to sleep. So sometime during the live stream, he's going to get up, and I'm going to have to, switch to my, and not, I won't be able to get big and talk to you guys like this. I'm going to have to stay small, but it's all good, though. It's all good. So, let us get into the next game, man. Let us go. Let us go. So, look, we're going to move into Wolves versus Southampton. You know what I like? I like when I see people come on the channel and accuse me of only talking about Liverpool and making Liverpool videos when they don't actually go and look at the channel and watch the content and know that I talk about all 20 Premier League teams, all 10 matches, preview and review every single week. It's just a matter of how I actually distribute the content and the way I title things. Obviously, I'm not going to title the video Wolves versus Southampton because people be like, I don't care about that. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to hear about that. See what I'm saying? So you title the content Liverpool, games, Man City games, United games, Arsenal, Chelsea games. You see what I'm saying? Big six games. You feel me? So, but anybody who's questioning my loyalty to Man City or are you a Liverpool fan or I'm a football fan. This is a football channel. This is a Man City channel. I don't have to make one single video about Man City if I don't want to. You see what I'm saying? And also, what Wade Nelson is also saying, if Liverpool give you more watch time, why not? The Liverpool fans come out, they watch the content. When I make the content about their team, if I make the content about City, crickets. Nobody care. If I talk about Chelsea, nobody care. Arsenal, nobody care. You see what I'm saying? So let me do me. Let me do me. So, anyways, man, let's get into this one. I just had to make that clear because I'm fed up with, with some idiots, I want to say in the comments, man. So, big up to the boy AD in the house. Appreciate you coming through. And let's talk Wolves versus Southampton here. So, in the last game, Bournemouth and Wolves played to a 0-0 draw. Well, for Southampton, they defeated Chelsea 2-1. In terms of the last meeting between these two teams last season, Wolves did the double over Southampton, while Southampton has 2 wins over Wolves in their last 10 games, dating all the way back to 2017, and they also have 2 draws. So Wolves have not been a good hunting ground for Southampton at all. In terms of the two managers, Ralph Hasenhuttl versus Bruno Lage. Well, Bruno Lage has the perfect record, 2-2 last season, and 2-2 versus Southampton. Against Wolves, 8 matches for Hasenhuttl, 4 losses, 2 draws, and 2 wins, which is not bad at all. All-time results, 10 games, 3 wins for the Saints, 5 games, 5 wins for Wolves, and 2 have ended in a draw, 15 goals apiece. So this one is going to be a very difficult one to predict. It could go any which way, in my opinion. Guys, in terms of the transfer updates for these teams, not between, but for both these teams. For Wolves, they signed Malian midfielder Boubacar Traore on loan from Metz. So let's keep an eye on how he performs. He definitely is a replacement for Leander Dendoncker. And I'll get to Dendoncker pretty soon. But Wolves also failed to sign Dario Osario from Universidad de Chile. And they will try again for the player in January. And Wolves were also in talk to sign West Ham United defender Craig Dawson, and the deal collapsed. And Leeds wanted Hwang Hee-chan from Wolves, but that bid was rejected. And also, got to mention the Leander Dendoncker signing the Aston Villa made. So that's a player that Wolves lost, but they did gain the Malian midfielder Boubacar Traore. Also, there's been a rumor that Jason Denayer, the former Man City and Lyon defender, the Belgian international, he is now a free agent and he is linked with a move to join Wolves. Also, for Southampton, guys, Southampton did bid 40 million euros for Cody Gakpo, but the bid was rejected. Oriol Romeo joins La Liga club Girona on a 3-year deal. That's the sister club of Manchester City. And Nottingham Forest also beat Southampton to Ren defender Loic Bade. So Southampton was actually in for Loic Bade. Southampton signed Man City youth duo Juan Larios and Sami Dozie for a combined total of £16 million. So that's the fourth Man City youngster that Southampton signed in the window, along with Gavin Bazunu and Romeo Lavia. And they paid a combined £40 million for those players, where Man City put in buyback clause for all of them. So if all those players go and do well, Southampton would probably end up making £120 million from, Manchester City. But I doubt all of them would actually do well. And it's crazy that Willie Caballero is still a backup goalkeeper for Southampton. I didn't even remember that. I didn't even remember that. Also, for Southampton, they actually signed Croatian international centre-back Duje Chaleta from Olympique Marseille. £8 million was the deal. And they also brought in Arsenal midfielder Ainsley Maitland-Niles on loan. So they had a very, very busy window. And this is only the update. I'm not going into all the signings they made, like the fact that they brought in guys like Arnel Bella Kochap and Joe Aribo. Who else did they brought in during the window as well? Let me see if anyone. Sekou they brought in. So I'm not actually going to go through all of that. Nice to see Theo Walcott fit again as well, for Southampton. So in terms of player availability, guys, for Wolves, Chiquinho remains the only player out, listed out, confirmed injured. And for Southampton, Valentino Livramento, and sadly, Romeo Lavia would actually miss this game. Players to watch for me, guys, is Wolves' new signing, the big, tall Austrian Sasha Kalajic. If fit, where I think he's fit, he should slot right into the team. I think they should give him an opportunity, put him on the end of corners and set pieces, and see if he heads them into the back of the net, by winning or win those first balls and helping Wolves win those second balls to, score goals. Wolves' problems is scoring goals. You know what I mean? So for Southampton, I'm going to go for Adam Armstrong, who scored his first goal since about October. So let's see if he could actually be a bit consistent, because he will play, in my opinion. So keep an eye on these two forwards, Sasha Kalajic and Adam Armstrong. So, guys, in terms of my prediction for this one, right? Wolves haven't been playing badly. And something that I've noticed is that all three teams in the bottom of the table. Let's go to the league table really, really quick. And I want somebody to tell me what you notice about the teams in the bottom of the table there. Wolves, Aston Villa, and Leicester City. Let me see if anybody actually gets this one right. Let me see if anybody actually gets this. All right? Guys, don't forget to drop your prediction in the chat. But three teams in the bottom of the table there. Wolves still yet to pick up a win, 3 draws and 2 losses. I think they've played reasonably well, but without luck, especially in that last game against Bournemouth. But in this game against Southampton, I think they're going to, apply themselves a bit better and execute a lot better. And even the Southampton are coming off of a big scalp against, Chelsea there, and they've been playing well. If you go to where Southampton are at in the table, you got to go up to 9th, 7 points. It's a great start. 2 losses, but they have 2 wins and a draw. I think Wolves bounce back here in this game and win this game 2-1. It's going to be a good affair, but I just have a good feeling about Wolves in this match, though. So I'm going to go for Wolves 2, Southampton 1. Let me know your prediction. And big up to Steve. All 3 Midlands clubs are struggling at the bottom of the league table. So, the Midland clubs need to turn their fortunes around, and they need to do so quickly. But I'm going to go for 2-1 to Wolves. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. In terms of the predictions, the next fixtures, pardon me, for Southampton, they face Brentford in their next game, followed by a match against Aston Villa. And for Wolverhampton Wanderers, struggling in 18th, their next game will be against Liverpool, followed by a match against Manchester City. then West Ham, then Chelsea. So the next 4 games, ooh, it's gonna be tough. But we know they're able, and they're capable of picking up big wins against these tougher oppositions. If you want to know, look back at what they did last season against these opponents, and you will definitely understand. But 2-1 to Wolves is my prediction. Let me know yours in the chat here. So, what are you guys saying? Guys, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button for the live stream. Back again with the consistency, back-to-back live streams, and who knows, man? I might actually. I have to do something tomorrow night as well, where I haven't done any Champions League predictions. I wanted to do Europa League and Conference League predictions, but I've been so damn busy, man, and I've been waiting for the transfer window to shut because it's very difficult to make predictions for for anything, and the transfer window is still open. For the league, you do have to try and make a calculated guess for your picks. But in terms of the Champions League, might as well wait. Some big signings or some big outgoings are definitely possible. And I'm gonna look to do some Champions League and stuff predictions over the weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but between now and Monday, I'm gonna try to get 3 videos out on the European competitions. Nothing too fancy. I just want to make it happen. I just want to get it done. So very lame picture. Wolves just can't seem to get the back of the net. I personally can't predict Wolves win as they haven't won in 12. So big up to Steve, and who's identifying that Wolves struggled at the back end of last season as well. I'm not really going back to last season too much because, sometimes you want to put those stats in, but I don't want to factor in last season too much. So all of you guys are doubting Wolves, but I'm 100% that they will win 1-0 here. Only Dom has got it right. All right. So also all of those clubs have won a Premier League or an All English First Division. Big up to Michael Olopino in the house. Big up to Hamza Aligiri in the house as well. Canonical coming in with a 1-1 draw. And appreciate all the predictions. Angus in the house. How are you doing, Angus? Nice to see you in here. And everybody, man, appreciate it. Guys, let us keep it moving. I'm just giving you guys gratitude. Gratitude galore. It's good to be thankful. Definitely. You can't be ungrateful out here in these times, okay? So the next game that we're going to talk about, guys, let's go back to the fixtures here. And we're going to get into a 4th game today. And let us talk about the match between Brighton. Where is it, man? Where is it? Where the hell is it? Brighton versus Leicester City. All right. This is also another tricky one to predict, but I got something for you. All right. So Fulham 2, Brighton 1 in their last game, while Leicester 0, Man United 1. In terms of the last meeting between the two clubs, the last game ended in a 1-1 draw at the King Power, and they met in the 4th round of last season's Carabao Cup, where the game ended in a draw and Leicester won 6. Well, actually, yeah, Leicester won 6-4 on penalties. Brighton did win the other league game last season. So, look, that was their only win in the last 10 games against Leicester. And that was the first time since they were promoted to the Premier League that they actually defeated the Foxes. So, in 10 meetings, 1 win, which came last season, 3 draws, 1 of them came last season as well, and 6 wins for Leicester City. So, historically, they have been getting the better of the Seagulls. So in terms of Grant Potter versus Brendan Rodgers, not a very good record versus Rodgers here. 1 win, 1 draw, and 5 losses for Grant Potter, and the same record against Leicester. For Potter, for Rodgers against Brighton, very good record. 5 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, and similar record against Graham Potter here. So, guys, in terms of some transfer updates, man, I got the information for your head tops. And for those of you guys who've been really following the live streams, the progression from the first 2 in week 1, we've already done 10 live streams this season, guys, when it comes to the Premier League. Maybe more. Maybe there's a bonus or 2 in there, but there's been 10 match preview and review. I've done a transfer update every single video, with the exception of last night. I didn't really do any transfer updates. But why does Wolves have so many Brighton have so many goalkeepers, right? They got 6 goalkeepers listed there. Maybe they need to lend Leicester one of them because they ain't got no good ones. But anyways, that's just a jab at Leicester there. But transfer updates for Brighton. Brighton actually signed Billy Gilmore for £9 million in a 4-year deal from Chelsea. I think that's a quality signing there made by the Seagulls. Let's see, Billy Gilmore is actually in the list in here. Yep, he's already there. He's in a Chelsea shirt as well. So good signing, man. Good signing. He's been injury prone as of late, but he won't be required to play every game. So he'll have time to actually, heal and strengthen. Also, Blackpool signed Zach Emerson from Brighton and Hove Albion, while Steven Alzate joined West Brom on loan. And talk about West Brom. That was a very remarkable comeback that they pulled off against Burnley today. I was actually watching that game, last minute thing, and they earned themselves a point there. So championship games could be very, very entertaining to watch, by the way. So I just wanted something to watch. There was a La Liga game. Bundesliga game was on. I was like, let me watch a championship game, man. Also, Rosario Central decided not to sell Fakunde Bunanote to Brighton and Hove Albion. So remember, I've been talking about him being linked with Brighton, and they decided against the sale. For Leicester, Blackpool signed Cullum Wright from Leicester, while Wesley Fofana officially unveiled as a Chelsea player, most expensive defender of all time, while centre-back Wout Faez joins Leicester from Reims on a 5-year deal in a £15 million deal. That was a fee for Wout Faez. And I feel sorry for Leicester because they're going to develop him and he's going to be sold on to maybe Manchester City in 2 years from now, man, or Man United or one of these teams. But I was actually looking back at Wood Fires, and he's been around some time. He's as a youth player, he was highly rated, man. So let's keep an eye on how he does in the Premier League there. So Leicester was actually linked with a move for free agent Marcelo, but he's since joined Olympiacos, and George Hurst joins Blackpool on loan. And also there was a 20 million euro bid. Well, maybe pounds, 20 million pound bid for Jeremy Boga of Atalanta, actually rejected. There. So Leicester actually tried, but I think they tried to do some of their business a bit too late. And I heard like the Fofana money was kind of tied up with, there was actually sell on clause to Saint Etienne, I think he came from, if I'm not mistaken. So not like they had all the money available, from the Fofana deal. So in terms of player availability for these two clubs, for Brighton, Jakob Moda, Adam Lallana, and Jeremy Sarmiento remain out, while for Leicester, Ryan Bertrand, Ricardo Pereira, who's listed as he's going to be available in 2023, so he won't be at the World Cup, and Daniel Amate, that might be a blessing in disguise for Leicester. He's out because I have I don't understand why Brendan Rodgers persists with Amate as a center back and he has Soyanchu and Vestergaard. I don't get it. That's why they're not doing well. That's why they're at the bottom of the table. Players to watch, Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm going to go with their goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. He's been a bit suspect, though. Even though he didn't concede for about 5 hours or so, he was a bit suspect in the last game where they lost the game to Fulham, right? And he needs to actually focus. I think he's a bit too nonchalant at times. He's decent, but he needs to be a bit more serious. You know what I'm saying? I think in his head, he thinks he's Edison. But keep an eye on Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper. And for Leicester, I'm going to go with their forward, their veteran talisman, Jamie Vardy, simply because Vardy has not been scoring goals this season, and that's the hallmark of Leicester City. Vardy. When they won the title, Vardy. When they do well, Vardy. You see what I'm saying? So if Vardy's not doing well, they're not going to do well. And I feel bad for Ihe Nacho as well. He's not getting the opportunities, especially from the start, where he had good periods Come on, come on, baby. Come on, Drunken Master. Come on, Drunken Master. And guys, Drunken Master actually got himself a haircut as well. So he no longer has long hair. Come, Drunken Master, lay down and go back to sleep. Anyways, I was talking about Brendan Rodgers and his selection policy. So it's a bit weird, though. It is a bit weird. And I think the board has let him down in the transfer window. So that's why they've been struggling. We got to identify a reason why they're not doing well, right? So, in terms of the prediction here, guys, for this game, Brighton versus Leicester, right? Brighton started very well. They did that last season as well. We know how good they could be. They play quality football, positive in all departments, of the field. Defense, midfield, attack. Brighton got it. But attack is the area where they could struggle a lot at times where, think about Neil Mopé when he was at the club. He struggled to score goals. Now you see Welbeck struggling. You depend on Gross and Trossard and McAllister and few penalties for goals. So even though they start well, this is a team that the form starts to dip and then they pick back up, and we could see that started happening already. That loss against Fulham, they were not themselves. They didn't play too badly, but there were just few mistakes, man. They were just riddled with mistakes throughout the game, and they were punished. And Leicester, in my opinion, are due a win. They are due a very, very good game. They weren't too bad against United. You saw in the second half, they really, played well, but they just lacked that quality in the final third. So this means that James Madison, Yuri Tillemans, who actually did not leave the club, these guys will have to just refocus and come hard. Jamie Vardy, these guys are going to Nacho, Daka. If these guys feature, they're going to need to come hard and get Brendan Rodgers out of this mess he's in, because he's under pressure. And I think if he lose a couple more games, they might actually sack him. So I think Leicester going to rally and they're going to pick up another win. Back-to-back losses here for Brighton, who will be okay in the grand scheme of things. But for Leicester, I think they're overdue a win here. And I'm going for them to win the game 2-1. We know they're going to play positive as well. They're going to take the game to Brighton. But I think this time around, Rodgers would get his selection a bit better. I don't know if the new defender is going to slot in right away, but it will help if he does, because at the back is where they're really, really bad. And Danny Ward, he got to step his game up. But what helps is a little protection ahead of him as well. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep an eye on the situation here. 2-1 to Leicester is my prediction. It's a bold prediction. It's very, very tricky to, predict, and very risky to predict against Brighton. We know how Brighton are. We know. Don't act like you don't know. So that's my prediction, guys. Let me know yours in the chat. All right. So in terms of the next games for both teams, Brighton, who are fourth with 10 points, their next match will be against Bournemouth. And then they do face Crystal Palace, followed by Liverpool and Spurs. And for Leicester, who's all the way down to the bottom of the table with a solitary point where they dropped points from a winning position on match they won against Brentford, their next game will be against Aston Villa. So that's gonna be a Midlands derby there. They need to win some games. They need to start winning, else it could spell disaster for Brendan Rodgers, and not only Rodgers, but for a quality team like Leicester City, where they could definitely be in, a relegation battle this season. Don't count it out. Definitely don't count it out, man. Guys like Ndidi got to step up their game. Dewsbury Hall, maybe he needs a rest. You see what I'm saying? I think guys like Harvey Barnes, I think they need to get their selection right. And if they don't start, getting their selection right, they'll be in a lot of problems this season. They remind me of the Brendan Rodgers and the Steven Gerrard situation this season is quite similar. you know. So big up to everybody in the house once again. The faithfuls coming through to support the thing. Do appreciate it, guys. Drop your prediction in the chat before we do move on. 2-1 to Brighton. 1-1 prediction. 2-0 to Brighton, says Lego Dude. Fraud watch is Robertson, Liverpool at the moment. Almiron spun him the other day. Almiron. You said Almiron. You don't see what Alexander Isak did to Robertson in that chalked off goal? Oh man, oh man. Robertson has, fallen away a little though. You know what I mean? I think he needs some rest. He needs some sleep. Brighton 3 to win here for Brighton over Leicester. 4-0. Yeah, I have a lot of, confidence in Brighton. Mr. Yarn, Brighton can be the roller coaster in terms of quality. I think they will win, but Leicester will have stronger form and won't be a blowout. And they'll win on the next one. Big up to Very Lane Picture, 2-0 to Brighton. Thank you very much for your predictions, guys. Moises Caicedo is the guy for Brighton and Paraguayan kid. And Chiso will be the next star. All right, let's keep an eye on that, man. The player on fraud watch is Rashford. He's always on fraud watch, though. So big up to everybody in the house, man. Thank you guys for actually. I like this, though. I think I actually have to put in that segment, fraud watch. I like that. I like that. Players to watch, but there could be a little, segment in the fraud watch. You're either on fraud watch or you're on, you just you just on watch. Watch for. I have to come up with another one, but you guys came up with the fraud watch. I like that. I really, really like that, man. So with that being said, guys, we are going to keep it moving. And we're going to move on to the next game. Match number 5, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. So before we get into that, let me take a sip of my water here. One-man show, doing quite a lot here. So let me keep myself quenched. All right, let's do this, man. Let's do this. Guys, do you believe, right, that I worked on this preview all day, literally all day. You see all the information I'm letting you guys know. I've been writing pages upon pages of information all day because I like to have my stuff written down. I don't like to just go off the top and be all over the place. I like to have my stuff written down and well planned out. And that's why I beat Steve in my prediction, in the prediction show that we had in the Champions League, because I'm all planned out, bro. Oh man, I don't mean to rub it in, Steve, but I'm all planned out, bro. You know what I mean? If you look, if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail, man. I like to prep. I definitely love to prep, man. And let's start Newcastle versus Crystal Palace with that being said. All right, it's 9:32 local time. We're doing well. We're doing very, very well, and we're getting into the 5th game, and we winding down at the same time. So for these teams, Liverpool 2. Well, I'm looking at the I wrote down Everton. I don't know why I wrote down Everton, but Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1 in their last game. Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 1. In terms of the last meeting between the two teams, Newcastle did pick up a 1-0 win against Crystal Palace last season and a draw. Palace do have 3 wins across the last 10 Premier League matches against the Geordies, and there's been 3 draws. So not bad at all. Not bad. But Newcastle, they've been doing well against Palace with 4 wins. 4 wins there, pretty good, pretty good. Solid, solid, solid in their last 10 in all competitions there. Well, it's only the Premier League they've played throughout the last 10 games dating back to 2017. This will be the second meeting between Patrick Vieira and Eddie Howe, where Eddie Howe won the first one. And the third game against Newcastle for Patrick Vieira, where he remains winless with a draw and a loss. For Eddie Howe, goodish record against Crystal Palace with 14 matches played, 4 wins, 4 draws, and 6 losses. 22 all-time matches in the Premier League between these two teams. 5 wins for Palace, 6 draws, and 11 wins for Newcastle United. And we get to your favorite segment, the transfer updates. So, look, for Newcastle, Colchester signed Matty Longstaff on a season loan, while Peterborough signed Kellen Watts on loan as well. Big news, Federico Fernandez joined Elche. So he's gone. He's another Newcastle player that they've offloaded. Well, Newcastle also made an inquiry for Spurs' Lucas Moura, but Spurs wanted to keep their man. Martin Dubravka joined Manchester United as their backup goalkeeper, while Newcastle was in talks to sign Harrison Ashby from West Ham United to cover for the injured Emil Kraft, who I think will be out for a prolonged period of time. For Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha was linked with a move away from Selhurst Park with the likes of Chelsea, Spurs, and Arsenal in the whispers. And Palace was linked linked to sign in Peterborough youngster Ronnie Edwards, who I heard is highly rated. And that's the only updates we have so far. Of course, we know Crystal Palace made a few signings during the transfer window. And if you didn't catch wind of who they signed, I think they actually brought in Sam Johnstone, but he's been injured. And they brought in Chris Richards as well. They brought in who else? Chet Decore. They also brought in a player by the name of Malcolm Ebiowe, which I saw him on I think the opening match day, and the kid is a live wire. So let's keep an eye on those players there. So in terms of player availability for Newcastle, Emil Kraft remain out along with John Shelby and Callum Wilson. Alan St. Maxima, Bruno Guimaraes, Jamal Lascelles remain doubtful, recently picking up injuries. For Crystal Palace, Nathan Ferguson remains out for a prolonged period of time. Jack Butland, James MacArthur, and James Tompkins are out, while Will Hughes is a doubt for this match. In terms of players to watch, Newcastle United, I have to go for the new man, Alexander Isak. Oh man, I was impressed with what he did against Liverpool. And I think the second goal should have actually stood. If you go back and you watch the second goal, I don't know how that was deemed offside at all. I really, really don't know how it was deemed offside. It was too close to call. And in instances where it's too close to call, I actually think it should be given to the attacker, because it's no way you could determine that, yeah, that was offside for real, right? And the work that Isaac did, sitting down Andy Robertson on his buttocks and actually sending Joe Gomez to the store, I was like, God damn. And the finish, it was so confident, man. It was like he didn't just swing his foot at the ball. He put it in the roof. And I like that. The goalie's going to try to, make himself big. Okay, do whatever you want, goalkeeper. Take that out the back of the net. I was like, damn. The way he executed the goal was brilliant. Newcastle should have got something from the Liverpool game, but that shoulda, coulda, woulda. They didn't hold on, and Joe Willock and them guys with the fancy flicks in the box, they end up costing them the point that they would have picked up. So Alexander Isak, man, what a signing! Record signing, £60 million from Real Sociedad. Let's see if the Swedish international and the former AIK youngster is going to continue to wreak havoc over Premier League teams this season. So in terms of Crystal Palace, it's just one man we got to talk about, and that's Will Zaha. If Zaha does well, Crystal Palace, they're going to do well. If he's not doing okay, if he's not in the team, they're going to struggle. And testament to that, against City, they did well. You know what I'm saying? But what happened? They ended up losing the game. And in the last game, they bounced back, even though I think they should have won that game. But, of course, they give up the goal and they drop points. And that's been, an Achilles heel for Crystal Palace. They're dropping points from a winning position here. So, in terms of my prediction for this game, right? Look, to be honest, I don't know if St. Maximin and, Guimaraes is going to be fit enough to start this game. But this is going to be a tough battle between these two teams. Really, really tough. Feisty as well. We'll have some goals in the game, but I think these teams would not be able to separate themselves on the day. I'm going for a draw. I'm going for a draw because I might want to, be confident in Newcastle for how they've been playing this season already, picking up a draw against City and almost beaten Liverpool, I should say, but ended up losing. I think, Crystal Palace are going to give them a run for their money, because if you look at this Palace team, they're no slouches. In defense, they're really good all across the back line. Guehi, Anderson, Mitchell, if he's fit, he should be back. Ward has been playing well. Klein has been playing well. And their midfield is very robust with Chet Ducory in there. You know what I mean? They've been working. They're a hard-working team. Jeffrey Schlupp, flies under the radar a lot. They're a hard-working team, and I think it's going to be two hard-working teams coming up against each other. Newcastle, I think, a bit handicapped without the likes of St. Maxim. That's if they don't feature. But I'm going for a draw. I'm going for 1-1. I'm playing it safe here. I'm playing it safe. When you're not 100% sure, the best thing to do is play it safe. Special mention goes out to Joe Linton, man. He's been a revelation at Newcastle, and he's been one of their most important players as of late. But look, I'm leaning more towards a Newcastle win, to be honest, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna play it safe. Look out for Isaac. Look out for Zaha. Look out for the likes of Jean-Philippe Mateta and co. Michael Olise. That's why it's hard to predict, man. Eze. These teams got a lot of talent, and it's gonna be hard to separate the two. So 1-1 is my prediction, guys. Let me know yours in the chats. And in terms of the next games for both teams, for Crystal Palace, who are 13th, their next game will be against Manchester United at Selhurst Park. And for Newcastle United, who are just one place above them in 12th on 6 points, Newcastle would face West Ham United at the London Stadium next Sunday. So talk to me, guys. Talk to me. We got 3-1 to Newcastle, and Foxy saying good luck to Everton tomorrow, LOL. 2-0 to Newcastle, says Palomo. Clinical coming in with a 2-2 draw. And didn't see any of the highlight of Isaac's cancelled goal, but to give an opinion about it, okay. Omario S is saying City to win 4-1 or 4-0. Okay. Ebericha Eze has been informed to not just Zaha. Yeah, I know. What else you got here? In terms of, let me see. Isaac's goals offside. That's what VAR is there for. Of course you're gonna say that, Marcel. Of course. You're gonna say that, Marcel. Big up to Matthew Walker to the house. Big up to you, man. Nice to see you in here. I don't know why I just said big up twice, but big up and big up to you. What else we got here? 2-2 draw, exciting. Steve say, I got us winning 3-2. Nice. Steve, sometime in the future, I got to have you on for a prediction show, bro. Premier League prediction show. You gotta work something out, you gotta get you on, man. And Steve, we gotta do something for the Champions League group stage, man. We have to. And I'm thinking either we could do something maybe we could organize to do something Monday night, bro. Maybe Monday night. Because I'm gonna tomorrow night might not be ideal. Maybe Monday night we do something. All right? So we think about that. Sometime Monday, if you're free. If not, it's all good. So big up to Ivan at LFC in the house. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another one. Guys, we're going to keep it moving. And if you haven't yet liked the video, make sure you do so if you're watching the replay. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another one, man. Look, quality on these teams, man. Ooh. And, I have to say something before I move on. Kieran Trippier, you are on fraud watch. You're on fraud watch. You know why? Against Man City, you got a free kick and you want to score. You see what I'm saying? You want a David Beckham the free kick, right? But since then, you've gotten some great opportunities and you haven't done a goddamn thing. Even against Liverpool, you had a free kick in an ideal position, and what you did, smash it into the blood cleat wall. You're on fraud watch. Just want to put it out there. Put it out there, right there. Anyways, let's move on. Next game. We got Chelsea versus West Ham. Let's talk that talk. London derby here. Chelsea versus West Ham. Big game, massive event. Pay-per-view. Oh man, Chelsea versus the Hammers here. So in terms of the last game, Chelsea lost 2-1 against Southampton, while West Ham played to a 1-1 draw against Tottenham. In their last meeting, Chelsea versus West Ham. Chelsea wanted a goal to nil, but West Ham did pick up a 3-2 win last season. West Ham also have a 3-2 win, a 1-0 win, and another 1-0 win against Chelsea across the last 10 matches, which makes 4 wins and 2 draws, which gives them the superior record against Chelsea across the last 10 matches in all competitions, which is the Premier League. But very, very impressive by David Moyes and his boys. Anyways, where David Moyes' record against Chelsea has been historically poor. 44 games in all competitions, 7 wins, 12 draws, and 25 L's. 3 matches against Tuchel, 1 win and 2 losses. Tuchel with the inverse of that record against both West Ham and David Moyes. All-time Premier League results: 52 games, 28 wins for Chelsea, 15 wins for West Ham, 9 draws. Chelsea winning the tie 90 goals to 50. In terms of their home record at Stamford Bridge, West Ham do have 5 wins there, 16 losses, and 5 draws. So not very bad. Not a bad record at all for the Hammers. Guys, let's get to the favorite part there. Your favorite part, the transfer updates, where we have a lot to talk about in terms of the updates, right? The latest and the greatest news on these two clubs when it comes to transfers. Marcos Alonso joins Barcelona as part of the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang deal, while Aubameyang reunites with his boss, Thomas Tuchel, for 15 million euros, including the Marcos Alonso, right? So Aubameyang actually recently got robbed. I was supposed to actually talk about that, but I've been busy, man. I've been so busy. No time to even talk about. I could make so many videos about so many things. I ain't got no time, guys. The older I got is less time I have, man. Look at it. Look at when I have to make these live streams when my boy Liam is sleeping. You see what I'm saying? Because I can't do it when he's not. So and not like I have somebody to say, hey man, come and watch a kid for me. Nope. So look, Obama Young brought in Marcos Alonso the other way. So a lot of business done by Chelsea in the transfer window, actually. So look, more transfer news for Chelsea. Big one, Dennis Zakaria brought in on loan from Juventus. I found that actually strange though, because Zakaria recently joined Juventus from Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I was like, okay, was not the move that I expected from him. I always thought he would have joined the Premier League. He's been linked with a move in Man City before, and for him to leave, I don't. It's weird, right? Juventus been doing the weirdest business. One of the weirdest business that they have done is letting João Cancelo leave and taking Danilo from Man City. I was like, God damn, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Danilo is like a star at Juventus. No wonder they're not winning anything these days. But so Baba Rahman, I don't understand why Baba Rahman is actually still a Chelsea player, but he is. And the Ghanaian actually joined Reading FC on loan. Ethan Ampadu joined Spezia on loan, while Brighton and Hove Albion signed Billy Gilmore on a permanent deal. Chelsea was actually chasing Ibrahim Sangare and Elson Alvarez, both players playing in the Dutch Eredivisie, and those deals actually failed to materialize. Also, Dujan Sterling joined Stoke City on loan, and there's a rumor that AC Milan rejected 100 million euro bid for Rafael Leao, who's said to have a 150 million euro buyout clause, and he was linked with a move to Manchester City as well. I don't understand how Rafael Leao got so good. I know he was talented, but he has really, grown as a player, though. Seriously. So it's interesting to see what he does at the World Cup if he gets the opportunities for Portugal. So also, there's been some news, lot of news for Chelsea, guys. The English FA is said to have blocked a 15 million euro move for Russian attacker Arsene Zakarian from Dynamo Moscow, right? Because I talked about that player. I did a little reaction video on my Domination channel as well. And that deal was always said to be difficult, seeing that the controversy that's surrounding Russia these days. Also, Xavier Simons joined Hull City on loan, while Brian Fiabema joined Forest Green Rovers. I'm even giving you guys academy player news as well because it's important. These players might turn out to be world beaters one day. And I'll be like, remember, I remember talking about him in the past. Also, Mitch Shibashuai joined Fenerbahce, while his deal for a move to Nottingham Forest fell through because Chelsea sent in the paperwork late. Maybe they did it on purpose. I don't know. Talented player Harvey Vale joined Hull City on loan as well, while Tyler Dibbing joined Southampton from Chelsea, despite joining Chelsea this summer. And it's due to personal reasons that we're not going to get into right about now. So in terms of West Ham and some transfer updates, West Ham tried to sign Nigerian international Ola Aina from Torino, and a bid of 8 million, including add-ons, was actually rejected by Torino. Craig Dawson and Harrison Ashby was linked to moves away from the club and also didn't materialize. West Ham recently signed Lucas Paqueta and Kilotera. So Tilokera, not Kilotera, like I said, Kilo Kilo Tilo Kara. God damn, he's been a disaster. That's I can't say his name properly. So in terms of player availability, guys, for Chelsea, N'Golo Kante, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Dennis Zakaria all listed as out, while Conor Gallagher is available again after serving his red card suspension. For West Ham, Naif Aguerd, Ben Johnson listed as out, while Gianluca Scamacca, Craig Dawson, and Aaron Cresswell are doubtful. Players to watch, guys. Player on fraud watch. Let me put it that way. Mason Mount. Fraud watch. Don't know what's going on with the man Mountain himself, but has not been good this season at all. You know what I'm saying? I would like to have put Raheem Sterling on fraud watch, but Sterling is actually the man who's, doing well for Chelsea. He's the best player so far this season, along with maybe a Cucurella. So Mason Mount is on fraud watch. Another player also on fraud watch, Kai Havertz. He might be a whole Timo Werner situation again. The only thing Kai Havertz have done at Chelsea that's memorable is scoring the Champions League winning goal against City. I'm still mad at Pep. I think City lost that final and not Chelsea winning the final. I know it's very, very harsh, and I sound like a hater or something, but Chelsea didn't win that. We lost. Pep actually lost that final. So whatever, man. I don't even want to talk. Why am I even reminding myself that shit happened, though? We could have won a Champions League and we made Chelsea defeat us because Pep didn't play any damn defensive midfielder. Shit, man. Anyways, just mess up my whole mood. So, in terms of West Ham player to watch, Lucas Paqueta. Pacquiao. Lucas Paqueta. All right, let's see if he actually hits the ground running in the Premier League. And let's, for West Ham fans' sake, hope it's not another Felipe Anderson situation, right? Emerson recently joined the club as well. But we're keeping an eye on Lucas Paqueta, who I think is probably using West Ham as a stepping stone to something bigger in the future as well. So he might actually go to the World Cup, have a great World Cup, and maybe Chelsea go in for him 100 million euros in January. Todd Bowley is American and he gets excited about things and he's just willing to splash the cash, you know what I mean? But you got to be careful of the FPP laws and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. FPP? Financial FFP, financial fair play. I don't know why I said FPP, you know what I'm saying? FFP. But look, Lucas Paqueta, man to watch. Guys, prediction for this game. Look, Chelsea have been ragged. They have not been playing well. as I keep saying, Thomas Tuchel does not know his best 11. He's going to chop. He's going to change. Reece James might come back into the team after recovering from a bout of illness. You might see him alongside Khalidou Koulibaly and Thiago Silva, where maybe Koulibaly is struggling a bit in the Premier League so far. And the defense is 71 years old, right? The center back pairing. So that could be a problem. Cucurella has been a bright, light for Chelsea so far since he signed. But I think in the midfield, they have some problems. With a lack of N'Golo Kante in the 11, Jorginho, I think, is a very lazy guy and offers absolutely nothing but penalties to the team. So that's how I feel about Jorginho. He has one or two very good passes in him, but that's what it is. Oh, shit, man. I forgot Wesley Fofana plays for Chelsea these days. I dead ass forgot he plays for Chelsea. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Chelsea, and that's the thing I tell you about Tuchel. He's going to chop and change, right? You might see Fofana and Koulibaly, or we might see Fofana and Thiago Silva. I don't know what we're going to see. And that's the problem with Chelsea. That is the big problem. In the midfield, who's going to play? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what Tuchel's going to do. He's too unpredictable. Way too unpredictable. I don't even know why Chukwuemeka went to Chelsea. He's not gonna get any game time like that. I don't know. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang brought in. He's not ready. When he's ready, what's gonna happen to Sterling? Think about these things, right? Is he gonna be on the bench? Is Aubameyang gonna be on the bench? I don't think so. It might be Sterling push out wide, Aubameyang to the center. What's going to happen with Mason Mount and Kai Havertz? You see what I'm saying? Too many choices. It's like you got too many options. You don't even know what to do. For West Ham, they're growing in stature. Bad start, but they bounced back. Won their first game against Aston Villa. Picked up a quality draw against Spurs. A game I think they could have gone on to win. They're growing in confidence. And I think they're going to go out there and they're going to pull off a draw against Chelsea. 2-2 draw, in my opinion, will be this the prediction for the game, because it ain't gonna be easy for this Chelsea defense against West Ham, man. West Ham just gonna throw the kitchen sink at you with all these attacking midfielders and these forwards and guys like Shusek and Declan Rice to make it difficult. It ain't gonna be an easy day at the office for Chelsea. They might even lose this game, but one thing I know, they're not winning. 2-2 is my prediction, and let me know yours in the chat or the comments if you're watching a replay. All right. So, guys, in terms of my the next game for these clubs, for Chelsea, who are 10th, 7 points, their next game will be against Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League, followed by London Derby against Fulham, and then Red Bull Salzburg again in the Champions League. As for West Ham, who also got European football coming up, they're 14th with 4 points after 1 win and a draw and 3 losses. They do have a game against Steaua Bucharest coming up in the middle of the week. Or you could say FCSB. FC Steaua Bucharest. That's what they listed as. And then they have Newcastle United coming up, followed by an affair against Silkeborg in the Conference League. So that's what's up for these two clubs. Big London Derby. Let me know your thoughts. Kurt Zuma coming up against his old team there. That's going to be an interesting battle. Tilo Kehrer, is he going to weed out the errors that he got in him? It's going to be interesting to see when Nayef Aguerd is fit again. Emerson coming up against his former team as well. So very, very good affair this one's promised to be. So talk to me, guys. Talk to me. I know the chat is buzzing right now. 0-0. Dom, when you predict Chelsea to win a game, to not win a game, they usually win. Yeah, I know. West Ham only have 4 points. Okay. What else we got here? Big up to Yoshi One in the house. How you doing? Johnny Long's in the house. Big up to you. Big up to all the regulars coming back supporting the thing. Michael Olapido in the house, man. Big up to you. Philip Bidwell. Mr. Yarn in the house, man. Everybody. Big up. I don't know where I got this new energy from, but I like it. So we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to move on to the next game, guys. We got a few more to talk about, 4 to be exact. and let's make it happen. What we doing in terms of time? 1 hour, 19 minutes? Not bad at all. Not bad. So the next game that we're talking about, Tottenham versus FC Fulham. London Derby. All right. Fulham's doing well. Fulham's doing very, very well this season. So, in terms of these teams, 1-1 draw for Tottenham in their last game against West Ham, while for Fulham, they picked up a 2-1 win over Brighton and Hove Albion. What happened the last time these two teams met each other? Well, Tottenham have not lost a game against Fulham since 2013. So, that's one win and a draw for Fulham across the last 10 in all competitions, where they did manage a 1-1 draw the last time they were in the Premier League. But it is Spurs that have been dominating this London derby. Very one-sided, 30 matches, 7 wins for Fulham, 16 wins for Spurs, and 7 draws. In terms of the managers here, this will be the first time Antonio Conte is managing a game against both Fulham and Marco Silva. Well, no, against Fulham. Against Silva, he does have 2 games, and he won both. But against Fulham, he never managed a match before. For Marco Silva against Spurs, no wins in 5, but managed 3 draws. And against Conte, winless as well. Let's get into the transfer updates. So, in terms of both clubs, for Spurs, we don't have much to talk about, but Lucas Moura was a figure of interest, but he stayed put at Tottenham. Also, Brian Hill's move to Valencia actually fell through, and he is still a Spurs player. The last time I checked, if we go down, we scroll down, we should see Brian Hill in the roster here, where I heard a Spurs fan say he's too puny and weak, not physical enough. Why did you buy him in the first place? So for Fulham, youngster by the name of Sylvester Jasper joined Bristol Rovers on loan, while Dan James joined Fulham on loan from Leeds United. If you scroll down here, we might see Dan James somewhere here. Yep, Daniel James. He's still in a Leeds United jersey. There's some big news here from Fulham, man. They've been making some waves. So Josh Onama's potential move to West Brom fell through because of late paperwork again. And you can see Josh Onama right there, number 25. And this one actually surprised me. If we scroll down to the forwards, they actually signed former Spurs loanee Carlos Vinicius from Benfica, and he was actually on loan at PSV. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa! I didn't even remember Ivan Cavallero was at Fulham still. He don't get no game time these days. But Carlos Vinicius, €5 million deal from Benfica. He's about 27, 28 these days. Thought he was actually younger. He got a baby face. But he didn't do he did okay at Spurs, but they didn't sign him on a permanent deal. The real big surprise was Willian. We heard that Willian was actually training with Fulham and he was, going to join them, but it didn't, materialize as yet. But Willian have joined Fulham on a free after severing his contract with his Brazilian club. He was formerly at Arsenal, where he was just there earning big wages, didn't do a goddamn thing. And formerly of Chelsea, where he would go down as definitely one of their legendary players there. So, Willian is a Fulham player. And that is one of the reasons why I predicted Fulham to stay up too. I just like the business they did before all these new players came in. And I just had a good feeling about them. And Marco Silva, is a decent enough manager as well. Also, Fulham signed Livin Kozawa from PSG. I think it was a good window for Fulham. And I'm predicting them to stay up. Remember, they signed Manos Salomon from Shakhtar Donetsk, but he picked up a terrible injury and will be out for the foreseeable future. They also brought in João Palhinha. They brought in Andreas Pereira. And Anthony Knockout was said to be on the way out, but nothing happened for him. Maybe the contract would be severed and he could join another club on a free. Harry Wilson, still to come back from injury. And they also signed Issa Diop and Kevin Mbabu, along with Bernd Leno from Arsenal. So they did a lot of business in the transfer window there. So in terms of player availability for Spurs, Lucas Moura is listed as out, while Brian Hill is a doubt, and Christian Romero and Rodrigo Bentancur is fit again to play. I don't know if Bentancur is going to get into the 11, but let's wait and see. For Fulham, Harry Wilson remains out alongside Manor Solomon, and Shane Duffy's available to play again because he couldn't face his parent club Brighton in the last game. Players to watch. Fraud watch. Han Ming Son is on fraud watch. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Son has had a rotten season so far, despite Spurs doing, reasonably okay. And Antonio Conte recently came out and said that Spurs are about 3 transfer windows away from competing with the big boys. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I think Spurs will compete, but I think he got a point when it comes to Manchester City. I think when you see the results that City are picking up, what Arsenal are doing right now, they're probably getting the jitters. Probably saying, I don't know. I don't know anymore, man. It's going to be tough to topple these guys. So keep an eye on Han Ming Son. He's on fraud watch. So for Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic has definitely hit the ground running. He scored 5 goals already this season, and only behind Erling, the early bird, Haaland. He's there before you know it. And I just came up with that one, guys. That's just off the top. We go over to the stats here. You see Alexander Mitrovic with 5 goals. He's recently brought up 100 career goals for Fulham as well. So if they are to do well, he needs to be involved. And I think that is something that Fulham failed to do on the 2 previous occasions that Mitrovic came up with Fulham. They benched him and they got relegated. I think this time, with persisting with Mitrovic, they're going to stay up. Mark my word, I called it early, and you're going to watch it happen. So, in terms of my prediction, however, for this game, look, I think Fulham's going to go out there and do their thing and give Spurs a good match, right? But at the end of the day, I think what's going to separate these 2 teams is quality. I think Spurs just have a bit too much quality for Fulham on the day. And historically, they've been better. We scroll down, you see the recent results there. Fulham did manage a draw, but you could see Spurs just been dominating Fulham over the last decade or so, right? And for Spurs, they've been in good form. Unbeaten this season, even though they look a little suspect against West Ham there, and they had to fight against Chelsea. They've been reasonably good this season, I have to say. While for Fulham, started well in my opinion, and they've been very brave. I want to say they've been a team that have played brave football. Too much firepower for them on the day, in my opinion. Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Perisic. It's just too much firepower. Richarlison, if he comes off the bench or starts, way too much firepower. Spurs 3, Fulham 1 is my prediction, guys. Let me know your prediction in the chat. Okay, so that's my verdict. In terms of the next game, 3rd place, Spurs, 11 points so far, unbeaten. The next game will be against Olympique Marseille in the Champions League group stage, followed by a big, dirty clash against Manchester City. God damn. Next Saturday, 12:30 p.m., it's on. Oh, my God. I'm not looking forward to that game, but it will be at the Etihad, so I think we'll be okay. I hope. We don't do well against Spurs for some reason. At least pick up a draw, please. Please. Pick up a draw, don't lose. I can't deal with losing and coming to talk to you guys about losing, man. I can't deal with it. So, look, in terms of Fulham, who are 8th with 8 points so far this season, the next game will be another London derby against Chelsea, followed by a game against Nottingham Forest. Talk to me, guys. Appreciate all the input in the chat. So, let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Do you accept City are a sports washer club? Damn, City is a cheater in the market. Okay, that's your opinion. Thanks for dropping your opinion. Very lame Pichu. Can't believe I said Fulham would go down. Okay, they've been excellent so far. Let me see what else we got here. Big up to Johnny Long's in the house. Let me see. Big up to Lego Dude. Up to 40 likes. Everyone who hasn't yet hit the like button. Thank you very much, man. You know what I haven't done in the past recently? I haven't checked to see who are mods from who's not mods. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been taking a look at that recently though. I really haven't. So, let me see what's going on in terms of that. Maybe I need to reward some of you guys with some moderator status. What do you say? Yeah, yeah. But guys, drop some predictions though. Let me see what you guys got here, man. Jonathan Rincon, do you think Haaland will win the Ballon d'Or next season? If he does, well, the Premier League and Man City wins the Champions League for this season. Well, look, let me tell you one thing I know. If Erling Haaland continues scoring them like the way he's scoring them right now and ends up scoring 50 Premier League goals, he gonna win the Ballon d'Or. You gotta give it to him. You definitely gotta give it to him, man. You know what I mean? It would be only fair to give it to Erling Haaland. So smash the thumbs up button, guys, for the live stream. Appreciate everybody in here. So 1-1, very lame Pichu. Let me see what's your any more predictions, guys. All right, I don't see any more predictions. But if you need more mods, I got you, Dom. All right, so Clinical mod. Let's give Clinical a mod here. Let me see who else have been. Johnny Longs have been with the channel for some time. Mod. Let me see who else in here. The Lego Dude. Mod. Oh man, you guys are getting definitely. Wait, what happened there? The Lego Dude, I can't mod you. All right, Lego Dude. Oh, it's hidden. All right, mod. All right, 3 new mods. Definitely 3 new mods. There. Let me see what else we got there. Michael Olapido. How are you not a mod? Michael Olapido, mod. All right, so 4 mods. If I could give all of you mods eventually, I will. So that's 4 new moderators on the channel. Appreciate your support there, guys. And if there's anybody watching from more Dominic Rich FC, big up to you as well. So look, guys, we're gonna keep it moving. We still do have 3 matches left, and we finish an hour and a half. We're doing well. We're doing well. We got time, okay? One thing we got today is time. So big up to Kevin Morris in the house. Appreciate you tuning in. Yet another one. So let's go. Let's go. Guys, let's get the stream up to 50 thumbs up. We're about 9 likes short, okay? So let's move on to the next game. And this one is a massive one, okay? And this is the game between Man United and Arsenal. This will be a Sunday game. They're leaving this one for Sunday. No fixture being played at the same time. And they just leave the slot open because this is a huge, huge game. So Manchester United versus Arsenal. Man United in good form. Arsenal actually the best team in the league so far this season. I have to say that, as much as I don't wanna, they are. They have been the best team according to what they've done in the table, right? Right? They've won every game, right? It's only fair. It is only fair. So in their last game, Man United defeated Leicester goal to 0 on the road. While for Arsenal, they picked up a 2-1 home win against Aston Villa. What happened the last time the two teams met each other? It was a 3-1 win for Arsenal, and before that, a 3-2 win for Man United. So, look, Man United would host this game, and they have lost 4 out of their last 10 against Arsenal while picking up only 3 wins. And that is poor. One of those include a 4th-round FA Cup game at the Emirates. So, Man United's record against Arsenal recently have not been. It's not a good record. It's been poor. It's been poor. Historically, these teams have battled, throughout the Premier League for titles, and they've had a very, very good rivalry over the last 3 decades. So, in terms of the all time records, 60 games, 25 wins for United, 17 for Arsenal, and 18 games have ended in draws. This will be the first time the two managers are meeting each other. First time Ten Hag would manage a game against Arsenal. And Arteta's record against United is pretty decent with 5 games, 3 wins, 1 draw, and a loss. So look, something that we actually gonna get into is the transfer updates, right? And I just saw Victor Lindelof there, but I haven't been seeing his for some reason. I haven't been seeing his name on the what you call it, the injury list or anything, and he has not been playing either. I don't even know if he's gonna be. He probably surplus to requirement, but it's left to be seen what becomes of him. Who remembers Victor Lindelof is a Man United player, and Phil Jones? These guys are probably training with the academy team. So, look, in terms of transfer updates, Ethan Galbraith joined Salford City on loan, while Will Fish joined Hibernian on loan. Tahi Chung to Birmingham on a permanent deal, while Martin Dubravka joined Man United from Newcastle United. James Garner joined from joined Everton on a permanent deal, and Man United signed, of course, Anthony from Ajax for 100 million euros, which includes add-ons as well, I think. Or it just converts to 100 million euros, but I think 80 something million pounds. Big signing. Man United have spent close to 300 million pounds, over 300 million euros in the transfer window. And just reiterate on some of the signings that they've made, Lisandro Martinez, who was actually given Manchester United's Player of the Month of August as well. Terrell Malacia. They also brought in the likes of Christian Eriksen, Casemiro. Who else did they brought in, man? Anthony. So a lot of signings, and they brought in Ten Hag as well. So Man United looking to the big things this season in terms of maybe fighting for a title or fighting for a cup, FA Cup, League Cup, or maybe even a Europa League. And guys, don't forget Cristiano Ronaldo is still at the club. Oh man, don't forget that. Cristiano Ronaldo will be playing Europa League football for the very first time. Okay? For Arsenal, Hector Bellerin joined Barcelona on a permanent deal, 1 year as a free agent. And I actually made a video 5 years ago on 5 players I think should join FC Barcelona, and Hector Bellerin was on the list, and another player on the list that actually I think joined. I think I put Usman Dembele in there as well. Can't remember, but anyways, man, that was one of my best videos, early, voiceover videos as well. So look, also Ainsley Maitland-Niles joined Southampton on loan, and Arsenal's bids for Douglas Luiz was rejected by Aston Villa. In terms of player availability, for Man United, Facundo Pellistri, Brandon Williams, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood remain absent, while Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are doubtful. I don't know what's going on with Phil Jones. I don't know what's going on with the likes of Victor Lindelof either. Don't ask me. I don't know. And for Arsenal, Reece Nelson, Thomas Partey, and Mo El Neni are all listed as out, while Martin Odegaard, Alexander Zinchenko, Aaron Ramsdale are all listed as doubtful. But I think these players will play. I think Ramsdale and Odegaard would feature. They're doubtful because you don't want Matt. I don't know. You don't want Matt Turner in goal against United in good form right now. Just want to put it out there right early. So in terms of players to watch, Man United, Jadon Sancho. Ooh man, Sancho has definitely been in good form this season, and if he continues scoring goals, it's only going to build his confidence, and he might turn into the player that he was at Borussia Dortmund. So United are going to need him firing on all cylinders if they are to get anything from this game against the league leaders, Arsenal. So for Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus, he's been picking up assists, picking up goals, and he's been Arsenal's best player, I think, this season after joining from City for big money in the summer. So Jesus and Sancho to watch in this game. My prediction for this match, guys. This one's gonna be a tricky one, right? Ten Hag seemingly has gotten his lineup right. Players are actually following instructions. They're playing with a lot of drive, belief, intensity. He has to stick to the program. I know there was fixtures in the middle of the week. You can't say, "Oh, we got Europa League. Let's switch this, switch this." Do that in the Europa League. When it comes to the league, prioritize the league, right? Are we going to see Cristiano Ronaldo from the start, or are we going to see Marcus Rashford? I don't know what we're going to see. Are we going to see Anthony for the first time in the Premier League playing for Manchester United? I don't know what's going to happen. You see, but if we could go from what Eric Ten Hag has been doing, he won't change up his 11 too much. We might see Casemiro come in for Scott McTominay, and that might be the only change, unless there's a forced change, right? So they've really grown in stature after that win against Liverpool, that shock win against Liverpool. They picked up another one against Southampton and another one against Leicester, albeit being all wins being by a 1 goal margin, right? They're just growing in confidence. And against Arsenal, it would be a test. It would be a huge test because the likes of Jesus, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, these guys are going to be coming at you, right? And this defense is going to be tested. Maguire, I don't think he's going to play. We might see him in the Europa League. But Varane and Martinez is going to be tested. David De Gea, I think, is going to be a busy man. For Arsenal, I said Arsenal did great in August. Perfect. 15 out of 15, right? In terms of points. The biggest test for Arsenal, I don't care about them playing the other teams. I'm not worried about them. You know what I'm saying? Like they could beat up the other teams. They could do what they do. But the biggest test for Arsenal, out of the total 114 points available, the biggest test is the 30 points available against the other big six. And I did some research last season. These guys only picked up 9. 9 out of 30. Okay? 9 out of 30. Arsenal, 9 out of 30. Cannot make this up. You cannot make this up, guys. 9 out of 30 points last season against the big boys. And that is where the problem lies with Arsenal FC. 9 out of 30. And guess how many they got against the other teams? 60 points. 60. That is the problem with Arsenal. That is the problem right there. They have developed this complex where they feel they are maybe a bit more diminutive than the other clubs. You see what I'm saying? They do have a good result here and there. But 9 out of freaking 30 points? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And if you guys don't believe me, go and check out the history and you'll see. But with that being said, both teams are playing good football. It's hard to see who's going to pick up a win here. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Exciting stuff. Back and forth football at each other's necks. And it's going to be a feisty affair. 2-2. Whoever wins this, it would be a massive win. It would. It would be a massive win for any of these teams. If Arsenal lose, doubts could start kicking in again. If Man United lose, the same thing. I think both managers would walk away happily with 1 point apiece. That's my predictions. 2-2. Talk to me, guys. MVP Kev 2-1 Arsenal. We got Michael Olopida 1-1 draw. What else we got here? Philip Bidwell 2-1 to Arsenal. What else we got, man? Let me see. 2-1 to Arsenal. Paloma 2-2 draw. Any more predictions here? Any more predictions? Yeah, Arsenal's defense have been playing well. You know, the likes of Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney, Ben White. 1-0 says Lego Dude. 1-0 Johnny Longs. Arsenal. All right. Okay. Lego Dude. Because Anthony probably will not start because Ten Hag wants him to build fitness after really not training for a week. Can Rashford play against Gabriel and Saliba? It's left to be seen. Definitely left to be seen there. But that's my predictions, guys. Let me know yours in the chat. So for Arsenal, who are first in the league, their next game will be against FC Zurich in the Europa League, followed by a match against Everton. For Manchester United, who are fifth in the table, 9 points, their next game will be against Real Sociedad in the Europa League, followed by a game against Crystal Palace. With that being said, guys, we are going to move on to the next game, and it's the match between Aston Villa and Manchester City. My team, the mighty Manchester City. So, look, let us talk, man. Let us talk. Remember the last time these two teams met, guys? It was a final game last season where Villa was needed. Villa needed, well, let me rephrase that. Liverpool needed Villa to pick up a win or a draw, right? And Villa failed. They, however, had us 2-0, reeling with about 20 minutes to go. And incredibly, we came back in the game. A brace by good no one and Roger with oh man, goddamn, I can't believe that happened. Stuff of dreams. Unfucking believable. So, look, in terms of these two teams, Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 1 in their last game. Manchester City 6, Nottingham Forest 0 in their last. The last time the two teams met, guys, in the last 10 meetings between these two clubs, Man City have won 9, only picking up a 0-0 draw back in 2015. And I spoke about that record last season, and when we were 2-0 down, I was like, there goes the record. Doesn't mean a goddamn thing. But wow. Absolutely wow. This is fantastic. No losses in their last 10 against Villa. That's the record that Steven Gerrard is coming up against here. He's under a lot of pressure. This will be his third game against City and Guardiola. L's last season. Man City did the double. Credit to Steven Gerrard for how they played, but they collapsed in the last 20 minutes. And when you got guys like Tyrone Mings in the defense, expect things like that. Pep Guardiola versus Aston Villa, 7 games, 7 wins. Absolutely brilliant. 44 games, 28 wins for Man City, 9 draws, 7 wins for Aston Villa. A total of 90 goals scored by City compared to 40 by Aston Villa. A recent result, 2020, 6-1 for City, 3-0, 4-0 for Manchester City. So it's been carnage. It's been carnage, whether home or away. So look, it brings you to one of your favorite segments, guys. Transfer updates. So for Aston Villa, a player by the name of Hayden Lindley joined Newport County on loan, while Tim Erog Bunam joined QPR on loan. Caleb Chukwuemeka, the brother of Connie Chukwuemeka, signed for Crawley Town on loan, while Jan Bednarek joined Aston Villa on loan from Southampton FC. Aston Villa also made the purchase of Belgian midfielder Leander Dendoncker from Wolverhampton Wanderers. They paid 15 million euros for him. And a player by the name of Tyreek Wright joined Bradford City on loan, one of the youth players there. In terms of Man City, Samuel Edozie and Juan Larios joined Southampton on a permanent deal worth around £15 million combined, while highly rated young defender Luke Mbete joined Huddersfield Town on a season-long loan. Massive news if you are follow the academy and young players. Man City signed Farid Alpha Ruptrek, a 16-year-old player who is said to be a future star from Hamburg FC in Germany. So, nothing major lately, but I did talk about the Manuel Akanji signing as well. Let's talk about that one. Man City signed Manuel Akanji from Borussia Dortmund, and quality signing in my opinion, highly intelligent player, and just providing cover for the defense. I think it's a great decision, man. Great decision. Akanji could actually be a starter when he Pep wants him to be, and he could play a squad role as well. So in terms of player availability here, for Aston Villa, Diego Carlos remain out, while Leander Dendoncker, the new transfer, is a doubt for this game. For City, Emerick Laporte is still recovering, while Nathan Ake, Calvin Phillips, and Jack Grealish, all recovering from injuries as well, are close but are doubtful for this match. Players to watch, man. Look, for Aston Villa, I got to go with former Man City player, never played any minutes for City, but Douglas Luiz. I think Man City should have actually put in a buyback clause for Douglas Luiz, and I think Pep wanted to actually use him in the past, but it's because of the wages. I think he couldn't they couldn't register him. Something to do with the wages because of the way the wage structure for Manchester City. Something like that, man. Something like that. So I have to do some more research when it comes to that. So if you guys know anything about that, let me know. All right. Any more insight on that? Let me know. All right. So my wife just messaged me. She's gonna be late, so she's gonna let her know to take an Uber home because I ain't gonna be going out late. I got work in the morning, so when I'm done this live stream, I'm going straight to bed. So yeah. So that's the availability for Manchester City there. But player to watch, Douglas Luiz. Let's go back. Got distracted a little there. But Douglas Luiz, the man scored 2 Olympico goals in the last 3 games that Aston Villa played, right? The cup game where they scored 4, he scored an Olympico, which is a goal when you score directly from a corner. And he scored an Olympico in the game against Arsenal as well, a losing cause, but it was an equalizer goal, and Aston Villa conceded 3 minutes later from a banger from Gabriel Martinelli. So, look, player to watch for Manchester City. I could list any one of these players, but it has to be this. Should I call him a man? Is he really a man? Because he's more beast than man. He's not real. He has to be a beast. How is he so damn good? There was a lot of doubts when he came into the league. He's gonna flop. He ain't gonna do well. He's gonna struggle. He's injury prone. He's this, he's that. Haaland is as strong as ever. He's as strong as I've ever seen him. And I can't believe how good he's been, man. 9 goals in 5 games. Never happened before. I've run into a stat where they were listing Messi's goals at 22 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo's goals at 22 years old. A lot of great players go how many goals they had at 22 years old. And Erling Haaland is like way ahead with 100 and something goals. And I'm like, this guy is unreal. This guy is literally unreal. He has to be some type of freaking cyborg or something, man. Because the height, he's skillful on the ball. He don't need to be in the game. He don't need to be touching the ball and passing the ball. He just need to be just flick the switch in his back. Flick it in his back. Bam, turn him on and goal machine. There you have it. He is not human. He's a goal machine. Erling Haaland, 9 goals. I feel good, man. Back-to-back hat-tricks. Is he going to take Aston Villa to the cleaners? Are we going to see him start the game? Or is Pep going to risk him again? Like, say, put him up against the likes of Tyrone Mings, who could be a little rash? Are we going to see that? I think he plays this game. I think Haaland wants to play every game, and maybe we'll see him rest when we get to the cup matches and maybe the Champions League. He might want to play those as well. He's 22 years old. He's going to want to play every game. But we have to be very careful. We got to manage his game time. I think even if he starts, let's say he does well, bam, take him off. If we already won the game, don't have him on still. We already won. It's done. Done, dusted. 50 minutes, we already won. Let's say 30 minutes, we got 5 goals. 30 minutes, we run away with the game already. Take him off at halftime. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to risk this player. It's a luxury player. You got to use him very, very wisely, man. And massive, massive signing. So, Erling Haaland, the test, I want to see what he's going to do when he faces the likes of Spurs, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, the West Hams. We already saw what he did against Newcastle. You see? So, that's going to be the real test for me. Erling Brock motherfucking Haaland is inevitable, and he has arrived. My prediction for this game, guys. Let us talk. Aston Villa has been rotten this season to the core. Midlands team struggling. Villa 19th, Leicester 20th, Wolves 18th. 4 losses and a win this season for Aston Villa. It ain't looking good for Stevie G and Villa at all. I think the problem here for Villa is going to be in defense. That's where the problem lies here for Villa. And if you go back to the game, match day 38 last season, okay, Matt Cash scored, Philip Coutinho scored, great. But they didn't defend. In a span of 5 minutes, they conceded 3 goals, lost the game, Man City won the title. The Villa defense cannot concentrate for long periods. Tyrone Mings and Ezri Konsa is not good enough against the likes of Haaland, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden, Mahrez, Julian Alvarez, João Cancelo, Rodri, and Co. I'm going to name all of these guys. Bernardo Silva, they are all threats. And I think that's where the problem lies. Villa got lucky last season and scored some good goals. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie at all. You know what I'm saying? They really give me a scare. A big scare. But the way we came back in that game showed character. I don't want none of that happening in this game. I want us to go out there and blow Aston Villa out of the park. If they try to take the game to us through, if Leon Bailey plays and Ollie Watkins, Danny Ings, whoever plays, you want to play Jacob, whoever plays, and if they attempt to take the game to City, they're going to get skinned. I suggest Aston Villa set up in their most defensive shape possible. Play a low block, defend for your lives, try to get something out of the game. Because you try to get a win here, you try to play positive, it's only going to backfire against you. Play negative football. If I'm Steven Gerrard, seriously, in all seriousness, I'm playing all defensive midfielders. You see, I'm just playing some negative football just to walk away with a point here. You can't do that, but still. Who said you can't do that? It's a strategy that might actually work. But I think this game is actually calling out for a guy like Marvelous Nakamba. You see what I'm saying? More defensive-minded midfielders. Boubacar Kamara has not really worked out too well this season. If you guys understand what I'm saying. And he has not. John McGinn as well. Some changes need to be made. But that's the thing. Where? When they are in, Philip Coutinho in, who's gonna start? Jacob Ram, who's gonna start? That's the conundrum here. Emi Martinez gonna be a busy man. City's gonna have most of the ball. They're gonna keep the possession for long periods of time in the game. They're gonna grind Aston Villa down, and they're gonna be very, very busy. The key for them getting goals, of course, on the counter with speed. Leon Bailey, Ollie Watkins, getting behind a complacent Man City defense, and that's how they're gonna actually threaten. Set pieces as well, they could actually threaten as well. But expect City to have most of the ball. Expect 20 plus shots at goal, and expect a 4-1 win for Man City on the day. I think they'll get one. I think they'll score one. Maybe a late consolation goal. But we're going to see fireworks again. Maybe a brace from Erling Haaland. I don't want to say he's going to score back-to-back hat-trick. But in terms of my starting 11 here, it's a tricky situation, right? What's Pep going to do? Is he going to persist with Julian Alvarez? Is he going to continue with Bernardo Silva, Gundogan? Could we see players coming back from injury like a Calvin Phillips come into this game? It's left to be seen. Are we going to see Sergio Gomez at left back? It's left to be seen, man. Also, another transfer that I think I missed is Claudio Gomez. Now I talk about Gomez. I think Claudio Gomez actually left Manchester City. He's been on the bench lately. I think he actually left Manchester City. Now I talk about Gomez. But look, yeah, he actually went to Manchester City's sister club, Palermo. Okay? So that's a deal. That's a deal. And I was like, okay, now I see what happened there. So he actually joined Palermo on a permanent basis from Man City under 21. And I'm pretty sure with the clubs being related that he could come right back to City if he develops. But just, I forgot that one. That one slipped through the cracks there. But yeah, City to win this game, man. The key for Aston Villa winning this game, I don't know. I can't see it. I can't see a Villa win. I really can't see a Villa win, man. So in terms of Man City, who are second in the table right about, they're just going to be too much, man. Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo, Haaland, Alvarez, Mahrez. It's just too much to handle. It's just too much for most teams to handle. 5 years, 4 titles. It's just too much. It's just way too much. I feel it for teams. Guys, you see teams are going out there, they're spending money, they're spending millions. So the excuses has to stop. Man City spending this, that. Every team spending money these days. And still Man City going on to win the title. What's the difference? What is the difference, guys? Please identify the difference here. You see what I'm saying? I could understand if Man City go out and buy 100 million player, 5 of them. You see what I'm saying? That's not the case. That is not the case. You see what I mean? Anyways, 4-1 to City. Hopefully, I don't eat my words. Guys, let me know your prediction in the chat. So for City, second in the table, unbeaten so far this season. The next game is against Sevilla on the road in the Champions League. followed by a massive one against Tottenham, where I'm hoping we don't shit the bed. Okay? Can't afford that again. Then we got a clash against Borussia Dortmund. Haaland up against his old team. Akanji, Gundogan, Gomez, Sergio Gomez as well. That's going to be a good one, followed by a clash against the very tricky Wolves. Then a Manchester derby. And guys, I'm actually planning to go to England to watch Liverpool versus Manchester City. I don't know how possible it's going to be, but I'm working on it, okay? Just keep that one in mind. So what are you guys saying in the chat right about now? Big up to the boy Dupe in the house. Big up to Johnny Longs. Who else we got in here, man? No predictions? Guys, you guys give up already? No predictions? If Haaland gets a hat-trick in this game, he is already over 1/3 of the way to Mo Salah's record in 6 games. Listen, if Haaland scores a hat-trick here, oh man, that will be 12 goals in 6 matches. Unreal. And if he continues the way he's scoring, he's going to get 40 goals this season in the Premier League, man. That's going to be insane. So, guys, we got one match left to talk about. We've been live for 2 hours, 5 minutes. And let's talk about the fixture between Everton, the Merseyside derby, Everton versus Liverpool. Who is in charge here? Oh, I thought ladies. We ain't got nothing here in terms of, I wanted to see who's in charge of that game. But look, Everton versus Liverpool. Goodison Park. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Let's get ready to rumble, guys. Let's talk. Let us talk. Let us talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. Okay? Please. Let me talk that talk. Everton versus Liverpool, right? Leeds 1, Everton 1 in their last game. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. In terms of the last meeting between the two teams, Liverpool did the league double over their hometown rivals last season, 2-0 and 4-1. Everton managed a rare win at Anfield in the 2020-21 season, picking up a 2-0 win, and before that, 2 draws. So they've had some good results against Liverpool across the last 10, picking up 4 draws and a solitary win. Jurgen Klopp versus Frank Lampard for the 7th time. Klopp with 5 wins. Lampard with 1. Same record for Lampard against Liverpool. But against Everton, Jurgen Klopp has only lost once. And that was the postseason that they had attempting to defend the title. Well, Jurgen Klopp said they're going to attack the title, by the way. 9 wins, 5 draws, and a loss against Everton. So in the all-time Premier League results, 60 games, 10 wins for the Toffees, 24 draws, and 26 wins for Liverpool. Home record, though, is a little better with 7 wins, 12 draws, and 11 losses. So in terms of the transfer updates for both clubs, let's talk transfer updates. So for Everton, Lewis Warrington joined Fleetwood Town on loan, while Everton signed James Garner from Manchester United on a permanent deal. Idrissa Gana Gueye returns to Goodison Park after an adventure with Paris Saint-Germain, while Andre Gomez goes the opposite way to France on loan to Lille. Everton was linked to signing Mohamed Kudus from Ajax. That deal actually fell through. Ajax refused the bid. While Ben Brereton Diaz was also linked from Blackpool, João Pedro from Watford, and Samuel Chukwueze from Villarreal. None of these deals actually happened. So for Liverpool, Max Woltman joined Doncaster on loan, while Liverpool signed Brazilian international Arthur Melo on loan from Juventus. with a rumored option to buy for about close to 40 million euros. So I already gave my thoughts on Arthur. I'm not so pumped up. I'm not so enthused about the player at all, to be completely honest. And I mentioned that he is just a Thiago 2.0, meaning that he doesn't give you goals, he doesn't give you assists. He's there to pass the ball around. Defensively, meh, in my opinion. Seriously. Seriously. I don't mean to be all negative about the player, but Liverpool fans, don't be all positive about a player you don't know a goddamn thing about. And he's very injury prone as well. Go check it out. You see exactly what I'm talking about. He recently did a surgery and, I think on his ankle or something like that. So keep an eye on his injury record as well. So in terms of player availability, talk about injuries. Everton would be without Andros Townsend, Yerry Mina, Ben Godfrey, Mason Holgate, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Abdoulaye Doucouré. Well, for Liverpool, they also have a long injury list. Ibrahima Konate, Jordan Henderson joins the list. Oxlade Chamberlain, Naby Keita, Calvin Ramsey, all listed as out, while Darwin Nunez have actually served his 3-match ban. Thiago Alcantara, Diego Jota, Quivin Kelleher are all close to full fitness, but remain doubtful for this one. So, in terms of players to watch, guys, for both teams, Anthony Gordon of Everton, what a player, man. What a player. He's been there scoring goals for them in their last 2 games where they have picked up some good results, decent results. I think they have picked up 3 draws in their last 3 games, and it's because of the work from Demari Gray and Anthony Gordon filling in up top where there's been a lack of strikers. They do have Solomon Rondon in their ranks, but Rondon's not going to put the fear into the hearts of nobody these days. Maybe when he was at West Brom, but not at Everton. You see what I'm saying? So, look, they need Calvert-Lewin fit again. Are we going to see Neil Maupay from the start here? I think that might be a good idea to throw Maupay out there to piss off the Liverpool players, get under their skin, maybe make them do something rash. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to see? You see what I'm saying? But I know we ain't going to see Rondon from the start. But look, Anthony Gordon, talismanic youngster, managed to stay at Everton despite heavy links with a move to Chelsea. And he was keen on the move as well, didn't materialize. And I think Everton did the right thing at the end of the day. So for Liverpool, man, the player to watch for me, I could put Salah on fraud watch, but, I chose not to do that. He's been kind of influential in the build-up for some of these goals as well. So I'm not going to put him on fraud watch. But the player to watch, man, you see this guy right here? And I keep saying this. This guy is the key. The key to Liverpool doing well this season. And I'm going to keep saying it. And you guys are going to be like, okay, Dam, I see what you were saying. Fabio Carvalho. Winner in the game against Newcastle. Scored in the 9-0 job into Bournemouth. And once he gets the opportunities, he's going to be a very, 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 very dangerous player to deal with. And this is the midfielder that Liverpool needed. This guy right there. See that little sign-in right there? Pay that little money to Fulham for him, about what, 5 mil or whatever? That guy right there, that youngster, he is the key. Remember, I told you guys that. It's up to Jurgen Klopp to trust him and play him from the start. Throw him and Elliott out there. Be brave. Turn these guys into superstars. Put them out there. Throw them out in the deep. Let them swim. See if they can swim. And if they do swim, then you're going to have two hell of a players. Stop the persistent starting of Milner and Henderson and these washed up players. No disrespect. You see what I mean? More Milner than Henderson, to be honest. Push these guys, not Naby Keita. Always injured Keita. You see what I mean? Oxlade. Some of these Liverpool just need to just sever the contracts of some of these guys. Just call them up to the meeting and just tear the contract up in their face. So you have not lived up to expectations. You are a fucking passenger at this club. But anyways, man, Fabio Carvalho. Yeah, the show must go on, guys. Look. Prediction for this game, man. Everton have not been bad. You see, they've drawn their last 3 games, but they have been giving up leads, right? Last 2 games, I think they could have won, drop points from a winning position. And you're not going to be you're going to be in trouble like that. You're going to be in a lot of trouble like that. And Everton are in trouble right now, just outside the relegation zone with 3 points. That's why I'm predicting them to finish the season anyways, around 15th. I think they will struggle for the entire season, but just somehow survive, or maybe comfortably survive, but just outside the relegation zone. The key for Everton here is defense. That's where they're going to pick up points. Right now, where they are lacking quality attacking options, defense. Defense. Pickford, Tarkowski, Connor Cody coming up against the team he supports, actually, Liverpool. This is going to be a weird one for Connor Cody. Agent Cody to Liverpool's rescue, maybe. But this game, man, Everton needs to be defensively sound. That's where they're going to pick up points. It's going to be hard keeping up with Liverpool. Luis Diaz, Salah, Firmino, I think, will start this game. I don't think Darwin Núñez gets into this 11 right about now. Darwin Núñez is going to be on the bench. Maybe for the Champions League, he'll get the start, but Darwin Núñez is going to be on the bench for this game. He's not going to just command the place in the 11 with Firmino doing that well. I think Klopp should play Carvalho and Elliott along with Fabinho. Van Dijk, maybe we'll see Matip come in. He's fit again. Or maybe they'll continue with Gomez. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. And I think Klopp should play Tsimikas from the start here with Alisson in goal. Robertson needs a break. But seeing that this is a derby, I doubt that we're going to see that happen. I think Liverpool's attack is going to be a little too much for Everton on the day. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for the Reds, but there's a high probability that this game is going to end in a draw. Everton could frustrate and squeeze a point out of this game. But I'm going to go for Liverpool to win. And I've been predicting them to win every single game this season. It's hard not to. It's really, really hard not to. But it's left to be seen. Let's see what happens. Are Everton going to be able to test Liverpool defense enough to get in behind with some quality and score? That's going to be tough as well. That's going to be tough. Anthony Gordon is the key here for Everton. And Gray and Gordon. 2-1 to Liverpool. Guys, let me know your prediction in the chat. Do appreciate that. So for Everton, it's 17th in the table right about now. Their next game will be against Arsenal. That's a big test, followed by one against West Ham. For Liverpool, they are 5th, climbing up the table slowly but surely. Their next game will be in the Champions League in Italy against Napoli, followed by a match against Wolves, then a home Champions League affair against Ajax, Then a massive one, and I mean a massive one against Chelsea on September the 18th. Only 2 weeks away from now. So, guys, there you have it, man. My preview for match week 6. Another 2 hours, 19 minutes. I feel good. Well done. Big up to Ron. 3-1 Liverpool. What else we got here, man? Guys, 50 likes. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, man. 50 likes. Smash the thumbs up button if you're yet to do so, guys. Would definitely appreciate it, man. So, look, my boy Liam's sleeping right now. What I'm about to do, I'm going to leave this Belgian jersey on. I'm going to take off my glasses, my hat, and I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm going to go take a nap as well. I'm going to go get some rest because it's one thing I don't get enough of these days, man. Sleep. I could easily sit down right now and put in some timestamps for these for this, but I ain't gonna do that, man. That has to be done tomorrow sometime, man. I'm tired. I'm not crazy tired, but I might actually put in the timestamps. I might put in the timestamps though. But guys, I wish I could stick around and look at the other leagues and all of that, but we're gonna do that on the weekend when we do the review for match week 6. Okay, so all the best to all the teams, guys. May the best teams win. Big up to everybody who tuned in to the stream this week. And from your boy Dom, thanks again. You guys are the real deal. Peace out. Rich Squad.